Well,
So that's why.
congratulations. I think you're definitely
Thank
one
you.
of the few people that I know who
Thank you.
felt tension or anxiety.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you for joining anyway.
Yeah.
So, sorry?
आम्हाला दररोज
रोज असतं हो. काही जणांच्या एकदम डे टू डे जीवनात एन्झायटी टेन्शनचीच गोष्ट आहे.
part of life, part of
It's a part of
regular
life. Yes. And before we go into art, I think I'd also like to take a little time to explain की आपल्या शरीरात काय चाललं असतं. कारण एन्झायटी, टेन्शन, स्ट्रेस ह्या सगळ्या सायकोलॉजिकल गोष्टी नुसतं नाही आहेत. Think back to a time when you felt anxious or stressed last time. काल झालं असेल, आज सकाळी झालं असेल, मागच्या आठवड्यात, मागच्या वर्षात. Bring to mind a time where you did feel stressed or anxious. And look at what else was happening in your body. Possibility आहे की एकदम तुमचे muscles tense झाले. Your body may have tensed up. It's almost like it's preparing for fight, flight, or freeze. Yes. There may have been sweaty palms. छातीत धडधड व्हायला लागलं असेल कदाचित. There are various ways in which we know through our bodies that tension वाटत आहे. कधी कधी लोकांचं डोकं दुखायला लागतं, पाठ दुखायला लागते. When we experience prolonged anxiety and stress, that has a very physical impact on our body. So let's look at the neurobiology a little bit. Okay, मेंदूमध्ये काय चाललं आहे जेव्हा आपल्याला anxiety येते. This part of the brain, the frontal lobe, is the part that's sort of been dedicated to higher order functioning. Okay, ह्याचा essential अर्थ आहे की या मेंदूच्या पार्ट मध्ये आपलं डिसिजन मेकिंग होतं, आपण इव्हॅल्युएशन, अनालिसिस ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी करू शकतो, आपण निर्णय घेऊ शकतो. इथे सगळे जास्त विचार होतात. म्हणून काही विसरलो आपण तर म्हणतात अरे विसरलो. आणि ह्या साईडला usually we hit the forehead. Yes, there is the innermost part of the brain, which is the part that we have in common with all animals. त्याला आपण reptilian brain म्हणू शकतात. That is responsible for our threat response. म्हणजे आता सिंह आला समोर, तो मेंदूचा एकदम इनरमोस्ट पार्ट आपल्याला सांगेल की आता पळायची वेळ झाली. और वी मे फ्रीज. इतकी भीती वाटते की आपण काहीच करू शकत नाही, आपण फ्रीज झाले. और वी मे गो इन टू फ्लाइट मोड. वी मे से चान्स आहे, लेट्स रन. Yes. So there are different ways in which our brain understands and decides what we want to do in a threat situation. During overwhelming anxiety, this part which is responsible for saying ha threat ahe, ha threat nahi hai, that stops almost working. The relay doesn't go from our bodily senses, our sense of touch, sight, smell, taste. It goes straight to the inner part that says fight, flight, freeze. And therefore, whenever we're trying to reduce the impact of anxiety or stress, we do also have to focus on the body. जेव्हा शरीर रिलॅक्स नाहीये, मन त्या वेळेत रिलॅक्स व्हायला खूप डिफिकल्ट जातो. So what we are going to look at today in the first exercise is mapping out what is going on in the body when you're feeling anxious. आपण ह्या ऍक्टिव्हिटी सोबत स्टार्ट करणार आहोत. सो तुमचं जे पण पेपर असेल, पेन असेल, इफ यू हॅव कलर्स ग्रेट, इफ यू डोंट दॅट्स कम्प्लिटली फाईन. आपण एका पेपरवर एक व्यक्ती ड्रॉ करणार आहोत. ओके, नाउ दिस इज माय स्केच अँड क्लिअरली इथे आर्टिस्ट व्हायची गरज नाहीये. जेव्हा आपण थेरप्युटिक आर्ट करतो त्याच एंड रिझल्टचा आपण फोकस करणार नाहीये. वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन द प्रोसेस ऑफ मेकिंग द आर्ट रादर दॅन व्हॉट इट लुक्स लाईक ॲट द एंड. सो वी विल लुक ॲट मनात काय विचार चालले होते जेव्हा तुम्ही हे आर्ट ऍक्टिव्हिटी करत होते, किंवा ह्या ऍक्टिव्हिटी करताना काही आठवण आली का तुम्हाला, कुठल्या गोष्टीची आठवण आली. सो टू स्टार्ट, can everybody draw a person? एक outline draw करायची आहे. Once you are done, just put a thumbs up on your on the chat or in your I think there's a reaction button also. Okay. Great. I see that a couple of people have already finished the sketch. Perfect. So रिमेंबर की आपल्याला फक्त आउटलाईन ड्रॉ करायची आहे. त्याच्यात अजून आपण काहीच आत भरत नाहीये. Somebody has raised their hand. Dhanashree, just want to check in. Do you have a question or you have completed the art?
I have completed the art.
Okay, great. Thank you. अजून 1-2 मिनिटं थांबूया. Let's give everybody else also a little time to complete. Hi, Payushni. I see that you're showing us some different art as well. Thank you so much for sharing it. For the moment, let's try and focus on the exercise at hand. And maybe towards the end, everybody can share whatever art they have created today.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. पुढे जाऊया. सो नाव मी आधी जे सांगत होते ना की एखाद्या इन्सिडेंटचा विचार करा किंवा एका दिवसाचा विचार करा जेव्हा टेन्शन वाटत होतं, जेव्हा चिंता होत होती कुठल्याही गोष्टीची, when you were feeling stressed or anxious about something. Yeah, if you want to, just take a second and close your eyes and just think about it and think to the time की त्यावेळेस what was going on in my body. माझ्या शरीरात काय सेन्सेशन्स मी नोटीस करू शकत होते. Sorry. And what we're going to do is to map those sensations in this. So, the last time I was feeling anxious, it felt like छातीमध्ये धडधड होत होती. So कदाचित माझ्यासाठी त्या विषयाचा रंग ऑरेंज आहे. So I'm just going to make some kind of marking here. Just I've put dots because to me that represents how I felt in that moment. So look at different parts of your body from that time when you were feeling anxious. विचार करा की त्याला मला या मॅप मध्ये कसं टाकायचं आहे. नुसता एक रंग आहे का संपूर्ण शरीर, दुसऱ्या वेगवेगळ्या भागेत काहीतरी होत होतं का, were there tightness in some parts but some parts felt different. See how you want to represent that either through colors, through patterns, through lines, anyhow that you feel is accurate to show ki when I'm anxious or stressed, this is what my body looks like. कोणाला काही प्रश्न असेल तर नक्कीच चॅट मध्ये तुम्ही टाकू शकता किंवा अनम्यूट करून विचारू शकता. So if you want, you can also turn off your screens while you're making the art and show us turn on the screens when you're done, or text and let us know that you're done. I'm seeing a message from Sarvesh Maske asking, will this work? Could you be a little more specific? I don't think मला कळालं तुम्ही कशाबद्दल विचारतायत. So take about 5 or 10 minutes right now and just think about what all you want to put down in the body map.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So, shall I speak?
Just give a few minutes to us. Let's see if a majority of people have completed, and I would love for everybody to share whatever they are comfortable to share. I'm not. Thank you. Let's take about 2 more minutes to fill in whatever we want to in our individual body maps. And then we can come together and share the experience of putting this on paper and also what you may have noticed. I'm seeing that somebody has put something down in the Q&A. Thank you so much. I'm making a note of it, and we will look at all of the Q&A together at the end of the session. Okay, Sarvan says hello. Have you been able to map out certain parts of the body that get sort of activated, or there are heightened sensations in the part when you are feeling stressed or anxious?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also seeing on the chat, there's a lot of people that have said done. Does everybody feel okay to go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Amrita. All right. So if everybody feels comfortable to, or whoever feels comfortable to, could you please turn on your videos and show us the body map that you have been able to put down? And anybody who would like to, we can just give some time to talk about what exactly you noticed was happening in the body. And I also see that there are some in the comments descriptions of what is going on. Ah. Thank you, Anushka. Lovely. So I do notice there's some videos coming on. Thank you so much for sharing. I noticed that there's so many different expressions people have put in about what is going on in different parts of their body. Priya, Payoshni is mentioning that she's not able to turn on her video. Could you just check in about that?
I'll just check.
Okay, thank you. All right. So in a lot of drawings, मी नोटीस करते की हे ह्या एरियामध्ये आणि चेस्ट एरियामध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त लोकांनी काही काही गोष्टी नोटीस केल्या आहेत त्यांच्या शरीरामध्ये होत असताना. Palpitations in the chest, yes. काही लोकांनी म्हटलंय की the head feels heavy, जड वाटतंय. And there's some chill sometimes or cold. There may also be times where घाम सुटतोय, पण it's cold sweat. It's not because you're feeling hot, but it's cold sweat. Hands and feet are shaking. Yes, absolutely. And usually, ह्या भागात खूप tension भरून जातो. These parts of the body become very stiff. The jaw becomes also very stiff. Sometimes we may notice की आपण दातांना असं clench करून ठेवलं आहे. Anybody who would like to share their experience of this exercise? Anything new that they understood about what is happening in their body? Dr. Vijay, I know you had mentioned earlier that you would like to talk about your art. Would you like to take a chance to do that right now?
Yeah. Can you see this art?
Yes,
Right.
somewhat.
Okay. So here, the unpleasant, if we are subjected to the unpleasant surrounding, which we do not like, then mostly, as far as my expression is concerned, it happens most of the time for us, being at the some position. So most of the time it happens, right?
Okay.
So
how did you experience it in your body?
That's I'm telling. I'm mentioned into this particular art. So here at the top of the head, at central part of our, head, and the top, the tinkling, some kind of.
You experience that kind of tinkling here.
Tinkling, number one. Number two, as you have mentioned about the lips and the teeth, sometimes we have to keep mum. So, this we have to get locked, I mean to say. But
so it's almost like you're trying to hold the words in.
Hold the words, we cannot express, and we have to be, silent. That's all, but without, much to be expressive. This is the second part. Then specifically some blood circulations in the nerves here in the hands, and some movement in the stomachs of the belly, this part, we feel that something is going on.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts generally in such situations, generally they get activated. This I feel.
This is what you notice in your body, that it happens that way.
In my work, most of the time. Most of the time, whenever the unpleasant situations which comes.
So it's almost like your body is indicating ki mala he kavat nahi hai.
Yes, and it shows the even maybe feeling of the nervousness. I said, why this is happening? Without cause, nothing, nothing, no fault of ours, and the things are happening. Why this? Some things, and which is beyond our control. We cannot do anything. So in that situation,
situations can be partly beyond our control. But what is happening in our bodies is definitely something that we can try and manage better. And it sounds like your body notices quite quickly when you are in a situation that is not comfortable for you. Sir, you've muted yourself. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Unpleasantness is noticed at the various parts of body.
Yes. Thank you.
Some activity, But that what is that activity? How that happens?
Right. You muted again, but I think what you are talking about is triggers. what you're talking about is why it's happening. Why is my body feeling this way? Yes.
Why this particular part of this body is happening?
Why that particular part of the body? Okay. I think that may go into a little more biology than I'm qualified to talk about.
Okay,
but that is definitely an interesting question.
You mentioned, no? So which part, where it is?
Yes. Yeah.
So
and I
that's
think
why it is linked.
आपण काही कॉमन अनुभव पण बघू शकतो सगळ्यांच्या आर्टमध्ये, पण आपल्या बॉडीचं, आपल्या शरीराचं एक्सपिरियन्स युनिक असतो. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I noticed that some people were raising their hands in the middle. Would you guys like to have a chance to share your thoughts, your art? Yes, I am not able to tell a name, but yes, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and talk.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Okay, I am not able to, I'm not entirely sure why we can't hear you. Are you there? All right, we have to go ahead, but if there are any questions, do put it down in the Q&A or in the chat and we will look at it together at the end of the session. So on the same chart that you have mapped the body sensations, let's look at also what is happening in the mind. या वेळेस मनात काय चाललं आहे, सध्या तुमच्या जीवनात काही ताणतणाव असेल तर आपण एका ढगात टाकूया. Let's put them in a worry, a stress, an anxiety cloud. So on the same paper or on a different paper, whatever is available to you, let's make a cloud and put down the thoughts. So one way to do it is to put the biggest worry thought in big letters. So, for example, COVID-19 is something that I find myself worrying about. And it's in somewhat of a big way, but it's not the full worry. So I'm going to put it down in this size. If you want to use a symbol to explain what is going on, maybe there is financial troubles that you're experiencing. Maybe there are relationship troubles that are coming up, which are causing stress or anxiety. You can feel free to also put down symbols that explore and explain what is going on that's on your mind. कुठल्या गोष्टींमुळे तुम्हाला टेन्शन किंवा त्रास येत आहे सध्या? Let's put all of those topics, those themes down on the paper. So let's take quickly about 2 to 3 minutes to do this and just give me a thumbs up or put done in the chat once you are done. I see some people are getting done very quickly. You're either have, I'm guessing, ki kami tension aahe, or you're very aware of the tension. That's great. Let's also give the other people a chance. Okay, I noticed that some people have finished and you're also showing us the art. Thank you. All right, I'm going to try and see. Thank you, Sushma. आधी काही लोकांचे मी आर्ट बघितले, पण I was not able to call out your name, but thank you for sharing it. Okay. So this people seem a lot more comfortable to share. काय concerns आहेत ते लोक more comfortably share करू शकतात. I noticed की काहींचे worry clouds एकदम full आहे, काहींचे 2-3 गोष्टी आहे आणि पुष्कळ space पण आहे. I'm noticing.
So आमचं क्लाउड भरून वाहत आहे.
भरून वाहत आहे. टेन्शनचा पाऊस पडतोय. All right. Okay, I think पुष्कळ लोकांचं झालं आहे. If you want to take anybody who wants to share a little more about their experience, we can definitely do that. मी notice करते की bored at home हे repeated आहे काहींच्या art मध्ये. Career is also a concern, a tension that is coming up. Admissions मी बघते. Anatomy, study pressure, yes. I think depending on the different roles that we have, the different responsibilities that we have, the kind of concerns that we're experiencing are very different as well. Financial plans. Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Sure where the
I'd
voice
like
is
to
coming
say
from.
something.
Anushka. Hi. Yes.
Hi. I guess what's the most confusing thing right now is my age. Like I'm 16 and school's not starting because, like she said, admissions are not done yet. I've got my admission, but there are no classes. Parents expect me to study. I want to study and I've been doing it on my own. And I'm like between an adult and a child, and there's a lot of things going on.
Adolescence is a really confusing age, and the lockdown and the COVID-19 crisis has added to that confusion and distress.
Right. And I really want to understand everything, like very bad. I'm always pushing myself to understand why. My biggest concern is why, how.
Well, you have chosen a particularly difficult question.
Yeah.
I think what's and hows tend to have a little more answer. But the why questions can leave us really going around in thought circles without actually finding one thing that we can hold on to.
So you need to set daily goals for yourself. That's what I believe. When you have nothing to do, you put on a schedule for yourself.
Okay. Is that working for you?
I'm trying to. Okay. I'm not doing great at it.
So we do have to come back to the art and to the rest of the group. But my recommendation for anybody who is struggling with a schedule, don't try to fit yourself into a schedule. Find a schedule that works for you. Even though it's technically the best thing to have like 8 hours of sleep and go to sleep at maybe 10 o'clock and wake up at 6 o'clock. If that doesn't work for you, don't try to keep up with that. It will probably just enforce the feeling of, I can't do this. So find a schedule that actually works based on your capacities and your pattern. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. I'd like to move next to an activity that I'm going to leave a little more to your imagination. आताचे आपण जे 2 ऍक्टिव्हिटी केले आहे, मी पुष्कळ तुम्हाला फ्रेमवर्क दिला आहे की कसं करायचंय. Let's explore something where you have a lot more freedom to do it the way you want to. जेव्हा आपल्याला ताण तणाव, टेन्शन, चिंता, एन्झायटी ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी होतात, it's really hard to find a space sometimes where we feel comfortable, where we feel safe. And so today, let's make our own palace of comfort. आपला स्वतःचा एक comfortचा महल करूया. Did I say that right? Yeah. So your palace of comfort can look like anything you want it to look like. तुम्हाला ते घर ढगात हवं आहे ते करू शकतो. You can have as many rooms as you want in it. Each room can be dedicated to a different thing that brings you comfort. जितकं डिटेल तुम्हाला करायचं आहे तुम्ही करू शकता. नुसतं बाहेरून बघायचं आहे आणि इफ यू वॉन्ट टू फील लाईक मी ह्या जागेला मनात जाऊ शकतो. जेव्हा मला ताणतणाव, टेन्शन येतो, when I feel anxious, I can go to this palace of comfort inside of me. But let's put that palace on paper. Does that make sense to people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. If anyone has any questions, again, feel free to put it down in the chat.
So the question is when we feel a tension, then where you would like to go? This is the is it that?
Yes. So like a
Where you
space of comfort.
Yeah, space of where this stress is.
Yes, where you don't, where you, yes, where you can feel comfortable.
Comfortable, yes.
Because when you are feeling anxious, it's very hard to find those spaces of comfort inside. So let's make one to put on paper that we can go back to when we do feel tensed.
No, but this one where we need to identify the space where.
So not an actual physical space. If you have a place in mind, that's completely fine too. But we can imagine what would be the most ideal, comfortable space for us.
Okay. For us, generally, we go to the very airy garden, very green space.
Sure. So maybe your palace can have some of those elements. Maybe there can be a garden, there can be a river running through even. It can be a very small place. It can be one room. It can be many, many rooms. It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
So let's take about 10 minutes for this exercise, and we can come back together and discuss what it is that we've decided to include in our places of comfort.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, do you have a question?
Hello.
Yes, hi. Do you have a
Ma'am.
question?
I will suffer some depression problems.
Okay.
And
I wonder if it may be helpful to talk about this after the session, because we have come together here to discuss something specific. And I think maybe, Priyal, you could also connect this person with the support line.
Yes, yes.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Anushka. I see your art. Rasika More, thoda sa camera, can you put it to the side? We can't see the art. दिसत नाहीये. आणखी थोडं खाली. Yes, perfect. Okay, thank you. Pranjali, thank you. I see you've also chosen to add colors. Okay, एक 2 मिनिटं आपण आणखी घेऊया. Let's try and complete in 2 minutes. Complete म्हणजे नुसतं आत्तासाठी. This of course is your artwork. तुम्हाला पाहिजे तेव्हा ह्याच्यात अजून डिटेल ऍड करू शकता. पाहिजे तेव्हा तुम्ही नवीन संपूर्ण करू शकता. So for today, let's bring it to a close in 2 minutes. Okay, let's come back to the group. Janna comfortable वाटत असेल, please turn on your videos to show your own palace of comfort, your space of comfort and safety. Okay. Thank you, Tanisha. Anybody wants to discuss their palace of safety or comfort? Would you like to maybe share काही thoughts किंवा details जे तुम्ही तुमच्या space of comfort मध्ये ठेवला आहे? I see a part that is, I see somebody's art where it's written that my comfort is my friend. I think friends पुष्कळ support करू शकतात आपल्याला. They can support us in emotional ways, problem solving मध्ये. And I think maybe we can also learn to create those spaces in ourselves. Music, yes. काहींच्या पॅलेस मध्ये म्युझिक पण आहे. Anybody else would like to maybe unmute and talk about their art?
So mostly in such situations, as a palace of the comfortness is very green environment, clean environment specifically, and wherever possible there is a good ample of availability of the water which is flowing the water. Number one, and number two,
So,
the
flowing water, greenery.
greenery and the proper classical music and chanting.
Okay. These are things that bring you
Meditation.
comfort.
Meditations.
So is there
Music.
a space in your palace where you can sit and meditate?
The physical palace or the mental
No,
palace?
in the one that you have created here. एक जागा assigned आहे का?
Yes. Always.
Yes.
We have a
Okay.
very fixed space. We generally mostly go to the, absolutely in a silent zone, and we connect to the spiritual power.
Yes.
Mostly.
And I think spirituality and faith can also be really great resources when we're feeling uncertain, when we're feeling like सगळं sure nahi hai. They can bring a lot of comfort.
Whenever the extreme level of uncomfort it is there, then we communicate to the highest level of spirituality, the power. That is the ultimate where we get the answers next day. It's like that. And we
Okay.
feel that everything is relaxed.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, sir. Anybody else would like to add to anything? Okay, so I want to also just go through some of the concerns that have been shared with me on the chat, because I think ह्या काही गोष्टी जे सगळ्यांना त्याचा अनुभव होतो. So let's talk about some of them and how we can sort of use our body. The first exercise that we did, शरीरात जे काय होत आहे त्याला आपण कसं रिलॅक्स करू शकतो. So if you are experiencing stress, anxiety on a day-to-day basis, एक मुख्य मुद्दा आहे की रिलॅक्सेशन एक्सरसाइजेस मध्ये एंगेज करायला हवं. So whether that is a progressive muscle relaxation, I'm just going to put that name down here. याचे तुम्हाला guided audios YouTube वर पुष्कळ मिळेल. Yes, it's very helpful to do that before you go to sleep. And that allows the tension in the body to leave. If you're experiencing that stress on a day-to-day basis, definitely look at some relaxation exercises to support your body and also your mind. ह्याशिवाय दुसऱ्या गोष्टी आहे that you can engage in is journaling. एक डायरी ठेवायची जिथे तुमचे विचार, ज्या मनात गोष्टी येत आहेत, भावना ज्या तुमच्या अनुभवात आले त्या दिवसाचे, ते सगळं लिहून डोक्यातनं काढून मग झोपायचं. That can also be very helpful. Therapeutic art is a great way to also support yourself. These are a few exercises that we have done right now. But you can also look into just making lines. So, जेव्हा वाटत असेल की ताण तणाव टेन्शन जरा जास्त झालं, नुसतं बसून अशा लाईन्स केल्या किंवा दुसऱ्या कुठल्या प्रकारच्याही लाईन्स केल्या, that repetitive action can also help to calm the mind. Anxiety किंवा टेन्शन असलं तेव्हा पुष्कळ वेळेला रेस्टलेसनेस वाटतो, असं सळवळ होते. Maybe your hands want to do something, your leg is constantly moving. So these are all indications that your body suddenly become restless, it's become heightened. Keeping it constantly coming back to a state of calm, coming back to a state of comfort is very necessary for your body. ह्या वर्षात आपण इतके चॅलेंजेस अनुभव केले आहेत आणि त्याचा आपल्या शरीरावर परिणाम पण होतो, नुसतं मनावर नाही. So do be sure to come back to the body, to come back. काही तुम्ही breathing exercise करत असाल, meditation करत असाल, dance music लावून करत असाल, that's entirely up to you. But find ways to relax your body. I'm open to any question answers that people have. So you can put it down in the Q&A box, or you can just unmute and ask anything that you have in mind.
May I ask you?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, if you are into absolutely tense mode or anxious mode, how it can be handled at the thought level?
I would say keep we have seen today, or that tension.
Yeah, it impacts
Yes.
body part, that is fine.
Yeah. And again, like, it's very subjective about what thoughts are going on. If you feel that there are overwhelming thoughts, खूप जास्त येता है कि वहाँ रेस होता है, but positive thinking is not just about not thinking negative. Usually आपण विचार करतो की पॉझिटिव्ह थिंकिंग की जेव्हा डिफिकल्ट अनप्लेझंट थॉट्स येत आहेत तर नुसतं पॉझिटिव्ह थॉट आलं that will make things better. That's not always the most helpful.
Yeah, as far as this, I used to, adopt the EFT.
Okay.
I
That's also a great way to support yourself.
I practiced 5 years for the EFT, the people also to the EFT.
Okay.
So, as far as this body-mind balancing is concerned, so, but is there any specific only thought level
so
we can
cognitive
handle this?
behavior therapy, if you're looking at more therapeutic modalities, sort of identifying unhelpful thought patterns and helping you train your mind to break those patterns. There are techniques from CBT that you